So when we did our percents unit, most of you were really good at using proportions. So I would like you to solve this problem, number one. Then I'm going to review writing it as an expression or an equation. Okay, so most of you probably solved it using a proportion, which is great. But I want to remind you that when we wrote equations, but this time we're going to skip the equal sign and write them as expressions, we wrote 20% as a decimal and we simply multiplied. So 20% is 20 hundredths. So we write that as 0.20, or 0.2 is fine, times 85. And that will give us what 20% of 85 is. And that is 17. Then that would be step one. And then step two is we would do $85. Try that again, $85 minus 17. And that would give us a sale price of $68. I'm going to show you how to do that in just one step. If we set up a percent bar, our 100% is $85. If we take off 20%, we're going to end up at 80%. And that is going to give us our sale price. So really, if we find 80% of 85, that's going to give us our sale price. So 80% of $85. So we can just write our expression 0.80 times $85. And that's going to give us $68. So we just did that in one step. So we could either find 20% and then subtract the price, or we can subtract 20% from 100 and use 80% to find the sale price in one step. We can do the same thing when finding a tax, but remember, we add on a tax. So using our expression, 8% of 125, we would write it as 0.08, because it's 8 hundredths, times $125. That will give us the tax, which is going to be $10. And then remembering we're adding the tax on, so that would be step one. So step two would be to add on the tax, which would give us $135. Our other option is to add on the 8% first and then use that in our expression. So if I've shown here $125 is our 100%, our original price, but then if we add on 8%, we're at 108%. So we can find 108% of 125. Go ahead and find 108% of 125 and see what you get. So using my expression, I converted 108% to a decimal, so it's 1.08, and multiplied it by 125, and in one step, I was able to calculate the price with the tax already added on. This next step, or this next type of problem, is a two-step one. And I just want to point out that if you take off 25% and then add an 8% tax, you have to do it in two steps. Okay, so you first have to take off the 25%. So when you take off 25%, you chop off 25%, you're at 75%. Okay, so step one is you would find 75% and then use that answer and add on the 8% tax.